Hey everyone, what's going on? Thanks for tuning in to Relevant Jukebox, and today we're going to talk about the latest album from Madlib, Sound Ancestors. So this is the latest full-length album from the legendary hip-hop producer Madlib, which is also a collaboration with another electronic producer, Rappcatts, who has been pretty busy on his own regard, releasing a lot of projects recently. Now, these two collaborating on a full-length album together is just extremely intriguing overall when I heard this getting announced, and I wasn't really sure what I was going to be in store for. The two have pretty different styles and approaches overall, but I didn't really see any reason why they wouldn't complement each other nicely, especially given the Mad Villainy remixes that Rappcatts spun out a few years ago that went over really well. But, I mean, I'm going to cut right to it. I mean, this one was a head-scratcher for me, and not really in a good way, honestly. I mean, if somebody had handed me this project blindfolded and I had no idea Madlib's name was attached to it, I probably thought it would have been some kind of, like, up-and-coming producer who, you know, was like really inspired by Madlib or something. Or at best, I mean, a batch of like Madlib demos. Cause I don't know, I mean, after a few passes of this record, I mean, I just do not find it nearly as intriguing as his other work. And a lot of the sonics are just completely stripped back. I mean, it's not as dense and colorful or really challenging, I guess, overall. And I mean, the two on here don't really land on a distinct sound or direction for the project either. I mean, take the track The Call, for example. I mean, it is easily one of the most stale tracks I think I've heard Madlib put out to date. The way that it kicks off right out of the gate, I was like, you know, okay, cool. You know, a fat bass line, some nice percussion, you know, vocal samples woven in there. I mean, sounds like distinct Madlib. But I mean, the track itself just really hangs in the same spot for the entire 2-minute runtime with absolutely no progression whatsoever. And the bass line itself just becomes relentless after a while with how much it's repeated. And you know, the formula that this track takes kind of runs through a lot of the rest of this album overall. I mean, you have a pretty straightforward beat, some minimal flourishes of instrumentation here and there, you know, some vocal samples from what sounds like old soul records, and that's about it though. I mean, take the track Dirt Knock, for example, which is like almost even more stripped back than The Call, and doesn't even really feel like I'm listening to Madlib, honestly. It's not really until about the halfway point of the record with the title track where things take a little bit more of a jazzy direction, but the approach that these two take in that direction just isn't really that interesting, really. The only track on here that really grabbed my attention and stood out amongst the rest was towards the very end with the Chino. I mean, it is kind of like Madlib phoning it in, but you know, if you're interested in his style like I am, I mean, it's, you know, pretty enjoyable. I did like the beat and that really mellow synth line that was layered in there. And the closing track is pretty much like a jazz piece. Sounds like it was dug up from like the 70s, and there's this vocal sample of this kid in there that repeats. I mean, it's kind of interesting. But I mean, overall, this was just disappointing for me as a huge Madlib fan. And, you know, I mean, maybe it's just me, but I mean, a lot of Rappcatts contributions on here I feel like are very indistinct. Like, I can't really tell where he kind of worked his way in there, which, I don't know, I kind of thought was slightly a missed opportunity. Maybe in my head, I thought, you know, he has a really good ear for writing these captivating, endearing melodies and, you know, drawing you in that sense. I thought he might have incorporated that into the fold, or, you know, maybe would have helped contribute to, like, these tracks with, like, more of a lengthier progression or something like that, keeping it refreshing, but it just doesn't really happen. So, I mean, if you have not heard this record yet and you're approaching it with, you know, Madlib's name attached to it, expecting these really sonically dense and colorful beats with a bunch of wild sampling, tempo changes, beat switch-ups, I'm sad to say that's just not what you're gonna get on here. I mean, it does make for good background music, though. I don't know. And with that being said, I'm feeling a 5 over here on Sound Ancestors. So this did get a few different variants on vinyl. It's being handled by Madlib's label Rappcatts. I have links down below in my description box. It looks like only the standard black variant is left up for sale. So if you want to grab that, if you're a completionist, go grab it. But if you have listened to Sound Ancestors already, what did you think about it? Let me know in the comments section down below. And as always, guys, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to like and share. And if you want more content from me, hit the subscribe button. Peace.